So today we are going to do a makeup tag. I haven't done one in a very long time and I really like doing these, and I had like a whole playlist. I still have the playlist of like old school beauty tags, and so I want to do another one. I saw this a couple months ago and it's been like on my list of things to do, and we're finally here to do it. So we are doing the bougie makeup tag. Am I bougie? We're gonna find out today if I'm bougie or not. I did see Melissa Nadaline do this, and she heavily inspired me, but also Does Beauty Diary has done this as well, and I also have the creator list in my description, so if you want to go check out all their videos, you can do so. I'm sure there's plenty of other people who have done this makeup tag. I also have the questions in my description, so if you want to do it as well, tag yourself, do it. I don't care. I'm tagging myself. I don't think we always call them tags, but I don't think anyone actually tags people anymore, which is silly, but whatever. So I'm also going to be doing my makeup, so we're just going to do a little get ready with me, and I'm going to be answering, I think there's 11 questions about luxury, high-end beauty, drugstore. Where do I fall in between those? Is it in the middle? Is it up, down, everywhere in between? Who knows? All right, I'm zooming you in a little bit, just a little. I'm probably not going to talk about the products that I put on my face. Most likely they're going to be either Shop My Stash items, they're going to be Project Pan items. I might pull some stuff from the drawers. We don't know. I don't know. I actually have no idea what I'm going to be doing today. But I just think, my face is kind of dry, so let's put on some moisturizer and let's get started. Okay, so the first question is, would you, and this is a question that I think is really easy for me to answer, but the first one is, would you rather buy one expensive item or buy several items for the same amount of money as that one expensive item is? So this is like the smart side of my brain, or the logical side, who cares? I don't know. Whatever side of my brain would like to think that I would probably just buy the expensive item because, it's probably more worth it. But I know from my shopping habits, I have generally always gone for, well, no, I can get more items for the same amount of money, so I'm going to get the more items. I want quantity over quality. Definitely in the past, I was way worse with that. I've gotten a little bit better, but also sometimes an expensive item isn't always the best thing. Sometimes something is overpriced and you actually can get, let's say for like an indie palette, because that's like what I've been buying more recently, right? I see a lot of indie palettes that are so expensive, like 80 euros, $80 or whatever. And then I see another brand that is also indie and they sell their palettes for maybe 40 or 45. So I'm thinking I spend 80 on one or maybe 90 and I get two. And I think, well, there is some logic to that. Do I need the two? That's a whole different story. Like, do I need more makeup? No. But I think in general, if I'm going to be honest with myself, I usually go for, I buy more items for the same amount of money because I feel like I'm getting a better deal, regardless if I really am or not, because what I tend to do in that respect is I end up buying things that I probably don't necessarily need, but it's like, well, I was going to spend this amount of money on one item. Look how much I can get with that same amount of money. So let me just keep adding to the basket. And so I think that is unfortunately how my brain works. And so that's probably what I would do in this situation, because it is literally what I do in the situation. When it comes to beauty, do you believe you get what you pay for? So, yes and no. I really think it depends on the brand or the item, because I think there are some high-end products that are definitely worth trying or getting. And then there are drugstore items that do the same or better. So I think for me, there's no right way to answer this, unfortunately. I just think that it's just one of these things where it really depends. Because I think a lot of the time we buy expensive items and we feel like it wasn't worth the money, right? So in that respect, the saying you get what you pay for, I don't think it works all the time. But then if you get like a really cheap product and it's crap, for instance. Like I feel like in general, Essence is good, but I think that their highlighters are bad. I don't think I've ever tried a good Essence highlighter. I think Catrice does really nice highlighters, but Essence is pretty crap. So I feel like in that respect, well, I get what I pay for because I've not really liked them and, you know, they're not very good, right? However, if I got the same highlighter, but it's a Catrice one, and I have like 2 Catrice ones that are beautiful, I got what I paid for. Yeah, but it's actually way better than what I paid for. So I don't think I agree with the saying. I think it changes depending on what you're buying, who you're buying from, what you enjoy in products too, because everything is so subjective, and what I like could be something that you don't like. You know, I get that a lot. You know, I like something and people are like, nope, comment down. They thumbs down the video like, I don't like it, I don't like it. And I'm like, okay, you know, we are allowed to have different opinions, but okay. Okay. So yeah, no, I don't think I believe that saying. However, sometimes I do, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm talking a lot. I'm probably not going to pay attention too much to how my makeup is looking. So if it looks a little rough, I'm just putting it out there. Most expensive item that I have actually bought with my own money. And I was thinking, oh, it's just makeup. Actually, no, this could be this is like a beauty item. So, I actually have it in front of me. I don't think that this is that expensive for what it is, because there are other versions of it that are way more expensive. But I would say, and I've done like a whole video on this, it was like a couple years ago now, but I bought this with my own money, randomly. Before I saw people doing sponsorships with You Like, I bought this on a whim. They found me on Instagram or Facebook ads, and I clicked it and I was like, So it's basically a hair removal laser thing, and it actually works, which is just amazing. And I think it's like $150 or like euros, around that. I think I did get it on sale. I think it was probably 90-ish when I bought it, which is a really good deal. I don't know if they really sell like that. I know you can get it on Amazon, you can get it from their actual website. And then I've also seen, like, since I bought this, that Angelica Nickfitz, she's done a sponsorship for them. So they're actually like a brand that's getting out there. But that is the most expensive sort of beauty item that I've ever bought for myself. I feel like everything else is like bought for me, or if it like comes to like hair straighteners, I don't really spend that much. I spend like a very small amount. Even like hair dryers, I think it's like, I don't spend that much money. I know you can get like really expensive ones that are over 100, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna spend that much, especially since I have no hair now, so no. But yeah, that's the most I've ever spent in terms of like an actual beauty item. And I'm very, very pleased because it still works. This is like an outdated version of it, but it still works. And I still use it to this day. I don't use it as much. Like when you first get it, you're supposed to use it like 3 or 4 times a week for like 30 days, not 30 days. What was it? Maybe it was like a month. Yeah, maybe it was a month, and then you eventually don't have to use it so much. So now I use it like maybe every 6 months, just like do 1 session or 2 sessions, and then I'm good. And it's really, really helped me. So you can also do, like, you can do it on your legs, you can do it on under your arms, like anywhere you have hair, it seems to work. Now, I'm not blonde, so I don't know how it would work with blonde hair necessarily, because I always was told with laser hair removal that it finds the pigment of your hair, and obviously the darker the hair, the better, because it can zap that, because it finds the pigment of it. It doesn't necessarily find the hair follicles. So if you've got like super blonde hairs, I don't see how it would work. So when Angelica Nickfitz is doing it, she's obviously blonde, and I'm thinking, does it actually work? But I know it works for me, so maybe it's fine for blondes, who knows? But anyway, that is like the most expensive item that I have bought for myself. If it comes to like makeup, actual makeup, There's a few that come to mind. So like there's different categories of items where I think that's really expensive for that category, right? So I think most recently, I bought this year. This is the Dior, and it's the Glow Luminizer, and it's in the shade Pink Strobe. This is what, like 50-60 euros, and it is like a shimmery blush highlighter topper. It's beautiful. It's very subtle. It's not super blinding, but that's kind of why I loved it so much. Maybe we'll wear this today. It's really not blinding, and you know, did I get what I paid for with this? I certainly paid for the brand. I paid for the compact, the prestige of having it. Is it worth it? No, but I still like that I have it in my collection, if that makes sense. Like I like that I have this in my collection because it's a little bit of a show off moment for me, and I don't have like multiples of these. It's the only Dior that I've ever bought for myself, and I just think it's like super cute, and I do like the product. But I think you could get this same, like this actual product, I think you get this for, I don't know, a fraction of the price. So but I think in comparison to everything else in my collection, like a glowy blush topper, this is by far the most expensive item that I have bought myself. But then when it comes to eyeshadow palettes, eyeshadows are what I spend most of my money on, and you know, I always thought it was my Natasha Denona that I spent the most money, which was like around 60-ish when I got the retro palette. But since then, indie eyeshadow has become so expensive. Maybe it always was and I never realized, but I feel like it's so expensive now. And actually, the most expensive palette that I bought was the Flower Moon, and I think it ended up being around 80 because I think it was like 78 euros. So, you know, and then with shipping on top of that, because I did, you know, this doesn't come from Europe. You know, it ended up costing me a fortune, this palette, and then I ended up not even using it. So I think, yeah, I would say these two, and then I have a lip product that I probably shouldn't have bought as well. So I would say just in general, those are the types of items that I've spent the most. So yeah, that kind of, in a roundabout way, answers that question, which was, what was the most expensive item? And it is my You Like hair removal, but obviously I do have a couple that I've spent quite a bit of money on in my actual like makeup collection. And then also there's like perfume as well, which perfume is expensive. I just haven't bought perfume for myself in a very long time. So I'm not including that, but that is always really expensive too, because they're usually like over 100. Okay, next one is, am I willing to buy products at full price, or do I wait until they go on sale or I get some sort of discount? Like, do I hold off on buying items? I'm one of these weird ones where I genuinely don't wait for sales. I don't know what it is in me. I just think, you know what, if I'm gonna buy something, I'm just gonna buy it. I don't sit on it and wait and wait and wait. This year I have, like, I've been waiting for like the Black Friday, which we're obviously in right now. It's Black Friday week right now, and it hasn't really helped me out because, you know, I've already mentioned this in a different video, but I was waiting for the Monolith sale, and the sale went off on the 16th of November, right? And that's like around the time when I got my flu, and I was like super sick. So I missed the first or second day of the sale. And then I eventually, when I remembered that the sale was running, the palette that I wanted was sold out. However, had I not waited until the Black Friday sale, I could have bought that palette just fine, and it would have been fine. I think the sale, it only took off like maybe like 20%, which I know sometimes can be a lot depending on how much the product is, but at the same time, I think I would have rather had the palette versus not having the palette now because I wanted to save some money. So yeah, I've ended up actually saving a lot of money by waiting for the sale and not being able to get the palette, because now it's all sold out, which was the Nevermore palette, which I could buy directly from the brand, but I wanted to buy from Monolith so I don't have to pay for shipping and all that extra stuff that I tend to have to pay for. So it kind of bit me in the butt. waiting. And so I'm at the point, like before that, I would always just buy stuff when I wanted it, not necessarily wait. So I'm definitely one that I just buy at full price. If I know that I can get it at a discount, then yeah, I will. But I don't generally wait and like do that because I'm a little bit impulsive, or I was when I was buying a lot. You see, I haven't been buying anything recently. All right, we're gonna go into my Artemis because I pulled this as a palette that I wanted to use during this time of the year. So we're gonna go into it. It's not bougie or anything. I haven't really directed any of the products that I've been using. I mean, I did just go into my Givenchy, which is very bougie, but I did not buy this. However, had I bought this, it definitely would have been in that other answer. But no, generally I'm probably a bit stupid when it comes to money, or I was. I mean, right now I'm pretty smart with money. But before I would just buy something and not wait. And now obviously I've waited and I ended up not getting something that I really wanted, which was frustrating. So, but maybe it'll work out in the long run, because I feel like the longer that I wait and not buying something, the less I want it, right? So that's why I say I'm pretty impulsive with what I want to buy, like when I buy stuff, because I like the feeling and the rush you get when you buy something or you get something new. And then obviously that just disappears pretty much instantly as soon as you get the item, right? At least for me. So the fact that I'm not buying a lot right now is actually really helping with my bank account. I'm wondering, I got a question about how do I deal with oranges, reds, and there was another color there, like in terms of like eyeshadow. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go into this orange over here. And we're gonna do something, because there's no real like thought process when it comes to how I deal with those colors. It's just I use them if and when it makes sense. I think orange and red can make really pretty like sunsetty looks. So not that we're doing that today. I think I'm still gonna keep it pretty neutral, but I want to start with this orange. And then I think also if you just commit, like if you're gonna go for a red eye, commit to it, and just know that day you're gonna have red eyeshadow. You can always wipe it off. It's not a big deal. I don't know. I think mixing the colors, or like orange, if you put pink with it, it can like subtle it out a little bit, or just if you put some light shimmer over it, it can make it like prettier, things like that. So I don't know how I deal with it, but it's one of those things where I don't really think about it. I don't go into them that much, but I feel like it's okay at the end of the day if I do. All right, so what's the next question? Where do I shop? Yeah, that's the next question. Where do I shop? So I'm not buying anything right now, so this is a bad question, but I mean, most of it pretty much all online. There is like a perfume and makeup store here that I would buy some items in, but it really doesn't have much in terms of brands. It has like NYX, and it has the Makeup Factory brand that I really enjoyed discovering earlier this year or late last year, and some other brands that I don't really buy from. There's that one, and then also like in every supermarket here they have like Essence and Catrice, but generally I buy online and I don't go on Sephora. I look at Sephora sometimes, but I don't think I've bought anything from Sephora so far. There is Notino that I can go on to. There is obviously Monolith, which has really nice indie makeup from either EU or the US or Australia or UK. And it's a really great place to shop if you are in the EU, because you don't have to spend all that extra shipping costs and import, because it's already imported into Europe, because they have it, they ship it out from Germany. I look at Look Fantastic sometimes. I actually have a code with Look Fantastic. I never speak about this, but I do have a code. It's always in my description. And if you use my code, you should be able to get 20% off. They do tend to have a lot of products always at 20% off, but I'm just saying, if you use my code, I will get a kickback. So thank you so much. Some people have used my code in the past, and it's really, really, really been very generous. So yeah, I do sometimes look at Look Fantastic, but the only thing is, like, Look Fantastic is good for, I think, if you live in the UK. Not everything's available to me while I live in Portugal. So I have it there to look at. Beauty Bay is one that I do still kind of shop at because their shipping is fine. I don't tend to get items stuck in customs at all, which is really nice. So that's cool. And yeah, I mean, what else is there? There's also Primor, which I haven't shopped at yet, but that's like all online. They do have like actual stores. And that has luxury, high-end, and also drugstore in there. So that's a really good one. Notino, I would say, is mostly drugstore, but Primor has everything, and I have almost bought from there. I've just been trying to like see where I want to shop, but I'm not entirely sure the places that I do want to shop. And also because I haven't really been shopping that much anyway. So it's hard for me to answer this question, to be honest. But yeah, no Sephora here or bougie places here, I'm afraid. Okay, next one is kind of funny. So it's gonna start asking me about my hair and my nails. So it says, how often do you get your nails or your hair done? So I was getting my hair done pretty much every couple of months when I was blonde, because I needed to, right? I was doing a balayage, and consistently for about a year, maybe longer, I was going to the hairdresser. And you know, that wasn't very cheap. It obviously was where I was working. So I was able to just like spend that money on myself. And that definitely kind of destroyed my hair over time, for sure. Bleaching it all the time. And the balayages that people like, I don't know, like they really like just like pull at your hair. I don't know. It depends on which hairdresser you go to. But what seems to be the modern way to do a balayage now is they do it as if they're going to do highlights, but then they scrunch up all of your hair into like a little like net and a bowl, and they just they color the little tiny little strands of hair. And so I think basically he was destroying my hair. But I don't know, who knows. So I obviously, and I have gone to the hairdresser 2 times this year. But the last time I went was probably around May time, and I haven't been back since. I'm just too embarrassed to show my hair to anybody right now. So I'm letting it grow. Obviously, I'm wearing like some fake hair today. I'm letting it grow, and maybe I mean, it would be really nice to have a hairdresser style my hair properly so that I don't have this funny, stupid little haircut that I have right now. But I'm gonna wait, and I definitely don't think I'm gonna color it. I always say that, and then I do. So I don't know. Again, yell at me if that ever happens. In terms of nails, I've only ever gotten my nails done professionally maybe once. Maybe once. Yeah, I think one time, and I was like a teenager. I like the look of them, but I don't like the feeling of having fake nails. And even if you get like the gel, I don't know, there's just something about it where just I obviously should get them done because it would help with your nails for sure, like strengthen them and everything. But I think I do too much around the house that I just feel like my nails break all the time anyway, and I don't want to be wasting. Like, for me, it would be a waste of money to get my nails done every 2 weeks or every month or whatever it is. I just think I'm not at that place in my life where it kind of makes sense or I care about doing it. I go through stages where I want to wear nail polish all the time, and then I go months and months and months without wearing any nail polish. So in terms of nails, I pretty much never get them done. If I do, it's me doing them. But hair, I have been definitely one to go to the hairdresser. Can you see? This is Alter Ego. Isn't it so pretty? And that's an old palette. I just think these shades are so pretty. And it's an old palette. It's an old palette. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so what's the next one? Do I prefer long or short nails? So, I mean, I kind of answered this, but I do like to have like long nails. I don't like super short nails. Like my own nail, like that length nail, if that focuses, that's a perfect little nail right there. Sometimes my nails can get too long. Like I feel like this one's getting a little too long and I need to file them down a little bit. But when it comes to like fake nails, or if you're getting your actual nails done, definitely short is the way to go. I don't know how, and everybody's different, you know, and people like different things, but I don't know how anyone can function and do anything when you have long nails. Like, how do you unzip your pants? How do you go to the bathroom? How do you wash your hair when you have really, really long nails? I just don't know how to do that, because how do you like get in there and like clean? I don't know how people do it. And how do you open anything with long nails? And I see people do it. So there is obviously, you kind of just get used to it and there is like a skill to it, but still, oh my goodness, I don't know how people do it. Okay, cool. All right, we only have 4 more questions, so I'm doing good with time, doing good. Okay, we're gonna go into my Cinch Beauty because this is the Persistent Persimmon, and it just goes. Okay, next up is Fave Makeup Brush Brand. This is not on purpose, but I really haven't tried that many brush brands, and the ones that I like, the only one that I would say is like the more expensive one would be Cinch Beauty, and obviously I'm using Cinch Beauty right now because usually makeup brushes I have just very cheap, crappy Amazon ones. I just have not in the past spent a lot of money on makeup brushes, and it's hard for me to justify spending like 80 to 100 euros on like a 5 or 6 set makeup brush set. Like, it's just hard for me to do that. I don't have all of the Cinch Beauty. I do have the original sort of just eye brush ones. I don't have her face ones, which I really want. And then she did also release more eye ones, which I don't have. So I just have like the original like eye ones, which is, there's more of them, but these are the ones that I can see right now. I think the feeling of them is really nice. You know, it's obviously in keeping with her brand, the color. And I think the actual like bristles are really soft. And I generally like these 4 in particular. I think there's another one. Yeah, this one here. I think they all have really good shapes to them. And for me, when I do my eyeshadow, that makes sense for me to have these. So I don't know, I really like them. I think I've had them for like a year now. They're doing really well. They're easy to wash as well. So I don't know, I like them. I think they're worth it. They are a little bit pricier, but you can also get them on Monolith if you're in the EU, and sometimes there's sales as well. I really want to get the face ones. So let me know if you've tried the face ones, because that's kind of what I'm itching for, to try the face ones, but I just haven't done it yet. All right, this is perfect timing. We're going to talk about mascara. So mascara, do I like high-end or do I like cheap drugstore mascara? I'm going to go with my Maybelline Sky High. This is actually drugstore, but this is not cheap. I feel like this has gone up to like 15. Am I crazy? This is not cheap. Or maybe it's like $12.99, but still, this is Maybelline. It should be like $5.99. Okay, so when it comes to mascara, I like BOUGIE mascara. I actually do. I like drugstore mascara too, but I think that the high-end mascara that I personally have tried has been my favorite. So I like MAC. I tried a MAC one. I love my Yves Saint Laurent. And there's also a Lancome that I really love as well. So those are, I would say, my favorite mascaras for sure. that I have tried. I haven't tried all high-end mascara, so I don't know. Like, I haven't tried, like, I don't know, Rare Beauty, Charlotte Tilbury, any of those, if they even have them. I didn't even remember. Fenty, I would even say like Fenty and all that stuff is, I would consider high-end for me. Too Faced, I haven't tried that. I don't even know if that's high-end, but I think it is more expensive, that mascara, or maybe it's like around 18. But I haven't tried any of that. But definitely like the higher end, would be the YSL, which is like 30. I think it's worth it. It's my favorite mascara, and I've had multiples of them, and I love them every single time. And then in Lancome, it's the Hypnose mascara. I love that one. And then MAC, it's the MACtastic, which I really, really ended up loving. However, having said that, I only have like drugstore mascara right now, and I have been really loving my Makeup Revolution Wrap Lash. I think this is really good. This is a tubing mascara. It's the first ever tubing mascara that I've ever tried, and this is affordable, and so I think that is excellent. I think the Maybelline Sky Highs are good too. This is the second one that I've ever had. This is the black version. Obviously, there's a pink one, so I've never had the black one before, so this is the first time I'm having it, but I feel like it's the same as the other one, like the original. So these, I would say, are considered, drugstore, and I think they're really good. I think Essence does decent mascaras. They're not my favorite, but they're very, very, very affordable. I think e.l.f. has also done some good mascaras as well. So, it is what it is, right? So I think personally, I do prefer high-end mascara, at least the ones that I have mentioned, but I don't buy them that often because they are so expensive. And mascara is something that I get through pretty fast. So I love to have it just to have it, but is it cost effective to have a mascara that is that expensive and have to get a new one every few months? No, it's not. So that's generally why I don't buy them over and over and over again. But if I could, then I probably would. All right, well, I've made a little bit of a mess with that, but it's still pretty. It's still pretty. Okay, next up, Faye brand. Is it luxury, drugstore, high-end, indie? What is my favorite brand? I actually have no idea if I even have a favorite brand at this point. I would say that it was Gloss Gods, but I think, I can't buy everything from there, and I don't like what they've done recently with just like their promotions and their marketing. I don't like some of the stuff that they've been doing. And then when I think of like another favorite brand, like if it comes to like eyeshadow, I can't lie, like Lethal Cosmetics comes to mind, but I've only tried that one collection, and I haven't tried anything else from Lethal Cosmetics, so how can I say it's a favorite brand? I would say in general, for eyeshadow, it's indie, but then for everything else, it's gotta be drugstore related, so maybe Maybelline. I think ColourPop is also a fun brand, and I would probably have way more ColourPop if I lived in the US. I'm pretty sure I would. I would probably be surrounded by ColourPop at this point because it's just so accessible, right? And it's, most of the items that they have are pretty good, I would say. Okay, so that one I can't really answer, to be fair, so I don't, I'm just gonna move on. I think we're gonna go into my Makeup Revolution lipstick. This is the Lover Nude. Okay, so the next question, actually the last question is, considering all of my answers, am I bougie? I would say yes and no. Like, I like some bougie stuff in my collection, but I'm not bougie. Like, I have really cheap items in my collection that I really, really love. So if I was super bougie, I think I would be a little bit more arrogant about that, and I would be a little bit more of a snob in that respect of like, oh no, I can't have such cheap items in my collection. You know what I mean? Is that bad of me to say? Anyway, this is the makeup look I just wanted to show you before I zoom out. I think it's pretty. So this is how I do orange and reds. I think you just gotta commit, and I think depending on like how the rest of your face goes, I think it's fine. Alright, so that is the end of the bougie makeup tag. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. It was fun to do. I kind of miss doing these. Like I said, I do have a playlist. I tried to add this to the playlist, so if you haven't seen the rest, which probably were like 2 years ago now, I was doing like old school beauty tags. And I do them every so often because obviously I'm running out of ones to do, and I'm gonna add this to the playlist. So yeah, go check out the rest if you want to. There's some that are pretty cool. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you would like to, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.